Hi, welcome to the Honey and Harry Show. I'm Honey.
And I'm Harry.
And today we have a special guest, another special guest. I always say that I have a special guest, but all my guests are special. I wouldn't have somebody that I didn't like on. I have Marvin Smith, who is with Baton Rouge Soccer, who actually coached my daughter and probably a ton of girls in Baton Rouge already by now. So he's going to kind of talk to us about how he started, how did he come here? He's from Trinidad, how he ended up in Baton Rouge of all places, and he's going to talk about the soccer club and all the opportunities they have for all the children here. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, and thank you for coming. So Marvin, let's get started. I just said you're originally from Trinidad, and so so you grew up playing soccer, obviously. So kind of tell us about you playing soccer, where you were from, and how you came over here.
So I actually started playing soccer at 10 and a half.
10, okay.
And when I say playing, organized, where you're actually on a team. But I played the game as, all through my childhood, just pick up. And then so the age of 10 and a half, I started playing organized. And then all through my high school career. High school is really huge in Trinidad. It's
really?
It's like American football, right? In Trinidad.
So it's
really
like a big Friday Night Lights kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah, so huge following. So that's where your career kind of get started as a player in Trinidad. And so I had a stint on the national youth program, youth 17 level. And then I played Division 2 and Division 1 in Trinidad. And then in 91, I was awarded a scholarship to come to play in the U.S. And so I went to school, a small liberal arts school in Montgomery, Alabama called Huntingdon College.
Okay.
So that's where I played my college career. And then from Huntingdon, I later became the women's coach at Huntingdon College.
Oh, wow.
And so I did that for a few years. And then I had the opportunity to be the first full-time director in the state of Alabama to start an all-girls club called The Attack. So I did that. And so my background in coaching started up on the girls' side primarily.
Okay.
Although I coach boys as well. So I coach at the college that I coach girls, and then at the club I started off on girls. And then I came in 2002, I came to Baton Rouge Soccer.
Well, I think you have I read some things on the internet, but you hold a lot of little titles, right? Like your degree? What did you get your degree in?
So my degree is in Human Performance and Kinesiology.
Yeah. So, and also, you were a all-time 3 district, right?
Yes, all district.
All-American. Yeah, I mean, so you know your stuff. Obviously. So what is the NSCAA Premier diploma that you got? I was reading something about that. What is that?
The NSCAA was the National Coaches Association of America. The name is now the USC, which is United Soccer Coaches.
Okay.
So the Premier diploma is the highest diploma you could attain from that governing body. And so in 2003, I took that diploma course. And at the conclusion of that diploma course, the NSCA invited me and offered me to be the first director of the state of Louisiana for that organization.
So how did you get here to Baton Rouge, really? That's kind of... So how did you come here?
So the move to Baton Rouge was timing. Everything is timing. Part of it was getting to something bigger. Baton Rouge was certainly a bigger entity, and it continued to grow. One of my friends, my dear friends, was also lived in Birmingham.
Oh, wow.
And he got the job here as the executive director, Gary Butte. And the next year, he called me up and asked me to take a look at Baton Rouge Soccer, and I came over.
So what year was that? Because I feel like soccer, even when Peanut was playing, it was just, I feel, and I don't know anything about the soccer world, and don't pretend to, but I feel like it has exploded now. It is unbelievable. Like Burbank is insane.
Yes.
But like when you first came here, was it like you kind? I feel like did you like kind of help?
So when I first came here, just to kind of put it in perspective, when I first came here, we had we used Independence Park for like all our
Yes.
practices and games, and then Burbank was a game only facility.
I remember that.
Burbank only had 12 fields, so just the front side of the complex.
Okay.
And only 3 fields with lights.
Oh wow.
And so for the time being here, we've had 3 new executive directors, and with those 3 directors, we are able to build the complex to where it's now 27 fields, and let me see, only 5 without lights right now at this point in time.
Yeah, I mean it's just we were out there. I was watching Peanut play not too long ago, and I was just like, "This it's so nice."
Yeah.
But that had to be crazy coming from Trinidad, where it was such a big, huge thing, and it wasn't. But then you go other places, and it's huge. Like you go to North Carolina, it's huge. You go even South Carolina. I feel like it's pretty big over there. It's just it wasn't as big in Baton Rouge. Was it hard to get it going and to? Because I think it's like now it's really y'all have hosted so many tournaments here. Because I remember when we were playing with you, it was like we would go out of town,
Right.
and it would be like, oh my gosh, we go to all these fields, and it was amazing. And then, but now we're like, I feel like that's what we have now.
Yeah.
You know. So how did y'all really get that going?
So the club, through a partnership with Breck and other, sponsors, we were able to build the complex up to what it is today. But our membership continues to grow as well. We are over 7,000 members altogether.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Yeah. And the complex itself is one of the best in the Southeast region in terms of number of fields and conditions. And so we've been able to host like the regional tournament 3 times here.
Okay.
And the regional tournament brings in
So much money.
Yes, like over 20 million social impact to the city of Baton Rouge.
Yeah. Hotels,
Yes.
restaurants, just everything,
Yes.
gas, all the places
Yes.
and everything, and just in soccer, it's just for my child at least, soccer has been such an amazing thing for her. It's not just soccer.
No.
We were talking about that before we came on, and maybe you can kind of talk about that. It's how you really kind of mold the children. You really do. So maybe you can talk some of that about that, because I feel like Coach Marvin's in the back of their head when they're like Peanut having her job, and like all these kids having their jobs now, and who they become, and hard work, and you always instilled such a amazing work ethic.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you just let them you made them work.
Yeah.
And I think it was amazing. It was a great experience. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that, because it is so much more than playing the sport, even if you don't play in college.
Yes, I think it depends on what lens you're looking at this. For me as a player, soccer was, I would say, put in my life at an early stage. Nobody in my family plays soccer.
Really?
No, I was the only one. So just recently, my elder sister, sent me a photograph of, I think I was 11 or maybe 12.
Oh, wow.
And it's funny, in that photograph, I had a ball at my feet, a soccer ball at my feet.
Uh-huh.
And so when I saw that picture, I started crying. And part of the tears was that I realized that God had put soccer in my life without me even knowing at an early age. Because in Trinidad, you typically don't have a ball per player, each player. You have a ball for a team, you have a ball for a group. Yeah. And so for me, that was a blessing. So my journey through soccer, through, all my playing, through all the things that have been, been afforded to me, I see soccer through different lenses. And it is to develop people, and it is to give people opportunities to express themselves, take risks in sports, which is a place you can take risks, and to help them to be able to be better citizens in life.
100, and that's what I think you instilled in these girls.
Yeah.
That you made them better, and until you had them, and like I was telling you earlier, they were this little hodgepodge of mess, and you just guided them to where they were little good little humans to where they could go off to the next coaches and they guide them through. But you really did that for them, and it's because of everything that you went through. I really truly believe that.
Sure.
And I appreciate that. And a lot of kids, when you're raising kids, you think, oh, my kid's going to do this, my kid's going to do that. And one of the things that I'll always take away that you told me, Willie, the club in general, the club's really great. It's not about playing at the biggest school. It's not about, you don't want to go sit the bench.
Yeah.
And like, it's like you have to get that into us parents' heads.
Yeah.
It was like, it was such a great wisdom.
Yeah.
So maybe you could tell some of that too, because like, you want to play.
Sure.
Like Peanut she didn't care where she went. She had already had an injury. She just wanted to play.
Yeah. So again, going back to my story, I remember playing in college, and a lot of times I'd have folks either from the other team or parents or grandparents from my own teammates would ask me, "Why are you playing here? Why are you not playing at a bigger school? Why are you not playing at a higher level?" And for me, it was simply for me to get my education. That's why I left Trinidad, to get a better start, to give my kids a better start in life. And so it didn't matter to me what school I was at, so long as I can get my education. And I always try to impart that with people. Don't think about and seek, I got to play the Division 1 level, I got to play the highest level. Play the level that you can have fun, you can enjoy it, because it's for a short time. It's a very short time, barring injuries. Injuries can shorten it even more.
Wisdom. I mean,
but it's for a short time, and you should enjoy that. I'll share a story with my son. My son played at Metairie College. It's a Division 3 school. Nothing to that. It's a great school. He had a great career. He played almost every game that he wasn't injured, right? And that to me was what I wanted for him. And at the end of the day, right? He got his education. And I always share with people, the thing I remember most is his senior day. So the day they had the senior night. So I went up for the game, and my proudest moment was when they called his name. Wasn't that something about soccer, whatever? Was that he was now finishing a chapter in his book.
Absolutely.
He was getting an education, which is right. I'm a first generation college grad, and here's my son graduating from college, and he was awarded, his honor roll, dean's list, and all that stuff, and those were my greatest joy and reward.
And your accomplishments too, because you raised such a.
Sure.
I can't believe he graduated. I remember seeing him out in the fields and all that. So
it's quick.
it is quick, and I think that's what I want to get out about Baton Rouge soccer the most. And what we have here in Baton Rouge, like all the coaches I had there, everybody that we've experienced, y'all really cared about our kids, and it didn't matter who it was. I remember we had Willie, who we loved Willie. I'm so sad he left. Peanut loved him too. And I think, we did a lot of speed and agility with him.
Yes.
We had Jen. Remember Jen? And I think we had, oh gosh, I can't believe Roger at the end. Is Roger still there?
Roger's still there.
Yeah,
Jennifer's still there.
Jen's still there? Because
Yes,
I know Peanut still, we see Roger. She still sees him out there. And now, my daughter really wants to go back. And like she's coaching a little team, but it's because of everything that y'all have instilled with them. They have such a love for the game.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think that's what we kind of need to get out and have people realize. It's not just going to play soccer. There's just so much more to this. And you were Peanut's first coach when we came on the team, and you taught her to love it and like work hard at it and do the privates and do the extras to get good at it. And it just kind of went from there. Also, I wanted to talk about too the self-confidence that it gives these girls. Maybe you can kind of tell people too, because all those girls they're strong girls and they are confident.
Yeah, I think for quite a while I was labeled as a female coach. I think I mentioned before.
Saying that.
Because I spent a lot of time coaching the female athlete. But I always feel that I remember a commercial many years ago in a commercial. I think it was something of recruiting girls into the math and science field, and one of the lines in the commercial said, "Expect the best of a girl, of a female, and that's what you're gonna get." And I've always felt that about the female athlete. Expect the best out of them and hold them to that standard.
And that can be
We
hard.
expect the best, right? Because they have to go out. I remember I always tell the female athlete, have an opinion about the game. And that's that confidence you're talking about. We're going to impact. Whatever coach you get, we're going to tell you, give you information about the game. And all the information you got to have an opinion about the game and how it should be played, but also have an open mind. Right, to receive some stuff.
Absolutely.
So that confidence where they can go out and then be able to be in probably in a certain sector in the corporate world where normally a female may not do as well, but that confidence in that, right? They can.
Yeah,
they
you
can
were
go in.
talking about that. No,
Yeah.
and I'm just going to tell you, not just, and I know I keep talking about my daughter, but it's not just my daughter. I'm telling you, like, it's all of her friends. Most of them, they are strong. I'm almost, not that I'm jealous, I'm envious of their strength.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I would have went through like a soccer program like that, because I think it built their confidence. Like, they don't need a man,
Mm-hmm.
lots of them, and if they do, it's one they chose. But they're very independent. They make good money. Elizabeth, do you remember Elizabeth Benning?
Yeah. Yes. Oh,
She's,
sure.
I mean, she's doing research at the hospital to find cures for cancer. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, just every single girl that in our little group.
Yeah.
There's so many more than just our little group.
Yes.
It's just, and you were telling me girls that were under Peanut, that were above Peanut, that have just, I feel like they just all do amazing things.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
I do believe it's because of the guidance they get instead of just running wild and y'all aren't negative. I mean, you can be hard on
No.
them. You have to be hard on them.
What's the expectation?
Yeah. Yeah. So and then they made like lifetime friendships in their work and the work ethic. What about that? I mean, like, I remember us going to. Y'all demand work.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe you can tell me a little bit about like the privates and the thing and some of the things that y'all do offer at Baton Rouge Soccer, because I know when we were there, you wanted to get the touches on the ball instead of just doing it 2 days a week, and then you wanted to do the speed and agility, and y'all offer all that, right?
Yes.
Y'all still do that.
Yeah. So obviously the program has evolved into different things. So we do have. We do have two higher level of play now. So at our Apex, we have on the girls side, we have the Girls Academy, which is the highest girls league in the country, and on the boys side, we have the MLS Next, which is associated with all the MLS teams around the country, which is the highest boys level in the country. So we have those levels. So we have most of our top athletes with players from other clubs like your Fire, your Lafayette, that come in and play. So it's kind of almost like a all state kind of team in there. So that's the highest point for us, and then we have our teams under those. So that's been a big change for us as well. In there, our players still have the opportunity to develop their full potential through some of the things that you just mentioned, some of the individual practices. We have numerous coaches that offer those options. We also have where our players can utilize our open door policy. Our open door policy allows players to go train with other teams outside of their team.
Okay.
So if my team practices at Monday and Wednesday, and on Tuesday I want to pick up extra practice, I can go practice with a team that's probably a year older, 2 years older, or maybe a younger, maybe a level above or below my current level. So again, a player has the opportunity to develop at their rate. So all those things are there for us.
So that is different. That high. So the ODP? Because remember is that still a thing?
ODP is still there. So
Okay,
that's
still
still
there.
something that our players have as a opportunity to go off the ODP camp and do
Okay.
some overseas trips and different things like that. So that's still available.
So it's just in a bigger scale, because I remember Peanut did that a few years, ODP. And she had to go to a camp.
Yes.
But it wasn't that far away, I don't think.
It was in Montevallo. The girls are usually in Montevallo.
Yeah, I think that's where we went. Yeah. So, but now this highest level thing, so I don't understand that. That's like different clubs that these girls are in?
So, Baton Rouge Soccer is sort of the hub. But it's a joint venture between Baton Rouge Soccer, Louisiana Fire, and the Crew Rush out of Lafayette.
Okay.
So those are the three governing clubs, and so representation from those three clubs primarily make up the rosters for those two programs.
Okay. Well, we just had a great experience. So I'm gonna have some pictures, Dad, to pull up.
Sure.
Yeah. One is you giving Peanut her first award.
Oh, my.
And you know where that was? That was in Birmingham.
In Birmingham, yes.
Yeah, can't you tell with the trees and stuff? And so that was the first
the Vulcan Cup.
Can you believe that? So keep going, Dad. I wanted to bring up some of these because this,
Shatira.
You see?
Yeah.
All the girls and Aaliyah. Aaliyah's...
Aaliyah Harris.
Yeah. I loved her. Magna, remember Magna?
Magna.
She graduated from South Carolina. So yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing I want to say, that these girls, like, they get in this and they make lifetime friendships.
Yes, for sure.
I think we have some more, Dad. I want to another one that we won.
So the state champs.
The state cup, and then Pablo. Talk about, that's what I'm glad we brought this up.
Yeah.
Indoor, because Coach Marvin said indoor was important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us why indoor is so important. And Peanut loved it.
Yeah. Well, I would say this. Indoor to me is a sort of a substitute for a missing link. And the missing link, I think, in player development here in the U.S. is the players don't play freely. They don't play. They don't play the game. They go on to organize practice. On the weekend, they go and they compete for these games that they think that they must win every game, but they don't play.
In the backyard. They just don't play in the yard.
And in most countries, that's a part of, you just play. No, there's no consequences, no significance. It's just a ball and people competing. So I think that's it. So indoor gives the players in the off season that ability to get in the indoor arena and play. Also, the indoor environment is really fast-paced, so it's a lot of contact with the ball. The ball rarely goes out because of the walls. There's not a whole lot of downtime for the players on the field.
Yeah, I know.
So cardiovascular is good, but then a lot of touches that you get. So the indoor now is a good substitute for that free play that we don't have.
Yeah, there's like the speed of play.
Yes.
And so I know, like, when Peanut was in college, she was at Northwestern, and I think she went to Guatemala, and she said that's what they did. They played with it. It was just free play, like you said, and they all brought balls. Those kids were so good.
Yeah.
She was blown away
Yeah.
on just amazing, and they don't have anybody coach. They just playing all the time.
Yeah, but that's when your creative play comes to light.
We don't have enough creative play here.
Right, because you're afraid. You're worried about the score of the game, and you're worried about the outcome as opposed to
just playing.
Playing the game.
Just having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like when the girls had fun at practice too.
Sure.
Yeah. I feel like they did too.
Yeah.
But I know what you're saying. Just going home and just kicking the ball around and having fun. Peanut used to do that in the backyard. We'd set up stuff, but it still wasn't like, she said, when she went to Guatemala, she had a blast. She had so much fun just playing with those kids because it was free, like you said, free play. Okay, Dad, I have a few more. So this is when we were with, I think, Coach Jen, and we won. So I'm just showing everybody that, like, it's a good club. We do a lot. No, there's well, I know there's like the red team. Do y'all still have the red team and the black team?
Yes, we still have the black, red, maroon level teams.
Maroon, okay. Because I think, because I remember Peanut was on the red and then she moved to the black, and that's when she had you. But yeah, so that's, I guess this is when she was on the black team, and I think we have maybe one or two more, huh, Dad?
That's another state cup.
That was Roger.
Okay.
The girls are
That might
getting
be
older.
regionals. Yeah.
But you see how they grow up together and they just, a few of them leave, but they just love each other. And I'm telling you, my daughter plays with her soccer teammates to this day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. And then we have our special last one, Nat and P.
Nat and Peanut, look at that.
And that's when they first, I guess, got together.
Yeah.
Remember they were doing everything together and then winning together and stuff. So I had to bring up some of those.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And that's sweet. Remember those were the old soccer practice jerseys, the red and the white up there. Remember those? Yep. I know. So it's so cool. And so I know my dad has his soccer picture.
Yes, it's a little known secret.
I never knew.
Yeah, it's a little known secret that I played soccer at LSU many, many years ago, and soccer wasn't a big thing back then, but we did play some soccer, and we had a very interesting field that we played on. What you see here is the gutted out section of our field. I lived in this dormitory, which only some people would recognize as the inside of North Stadium. When the governor wanted a football stadium, he figured out he could con the legislature by building a dormitory that supported the stands of a football stadium. So over on the right side of this figure was the hallway, and in the hallway, which is curved, so our field was curved. We would kick the ball up and down on the court, and I suffered an injury, a season-ending injury. I broke my toe when I hit one of these radiators. Yeah, so it was it didn't last long in the field, but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, that's for sure.
Well, you contributed in other ways to
Yeah.
LSU.
Yeah, right.
He played in the band.
Yeah, I was in the band.
He was in the band, so you did
people on.
contribute in other ways.
Yeah.
So, Dad, do you have any questions for Coach Marvin?
Yeah, well, I guess a question I had was, what do you remember as the highlight of your playing days? I know you won a lot of awards and accolades, but
You won a ton of stuff. Like I can't even remember everything you did. You did great.
Yeah, but what was the fondest memory, the most exciting experience, something like that?
I think for me, it was back in my high school playing.
Uh-huh.
Our national championship. I was a freshman. National championship was in our national stadium, and I remember that game. We had over 35,000 people at the game, and here I was as a freshman.
That's goosebump time.
Yeah, walking out in the field to this that crowd. That was one of my fondest memories. One of the games that I remember very vividly. Almost frame by frame.
Wow.
Well, that so many people at a high school game.
Yes, ma'am.
That's I don't think we can understand it. No, we can't wrap our heads around it. That's unbelievable. That's so cool, especially your freshman year.
The other thing I think is exciting about what you said, Marvin, about this playing thing, I remember as kids, we did a lot of playing that had nothing to do with organized sports. So we were out playing softball or baseball or football, our own version of it with as many kids as we could get together to play the sport. And we did that every afternoon.
Yes.
And that's what you guys were doing when you were kids, it was like, okay, school's over, let's go play.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what's missing because, you remember, Dad, even me who's terrible at sports, I would have kids come knock on my door and say, come across the street. Mm-hmm. We need another player for baseball, whatever they were playing. And it didn't matter if I was good or not.
Right.
They just needed a body and somebody that could contribute. And I did. I contributed in some type of way. But I guess kids don't do that as much as they used to.
Well, I think for me the message I try to send to any young child investing in this, and if they have a serious desire to play and be the best, don't look for it in somebody else. I know that for sure. because I've lived that. I didn't get my skill set from somebody necessarily a coach.
No.
It's from playing and having the imagination, seeing somebody and emulating, seeing what they do. Our kids watch the EPL and all the games, see what players are doing and emulate and play. A coach, in my estimation, our job is very significant. I don't downplay that in terms of, as you say, developing a whole person and certainly instilling confidence and leadership and soccer skill set. But I think it's on the player, whatever coach that they're with, whatever environment that they're in, that player makes themselves better.
I mean, that's so true.
You make yourself better. And because you're going to come across good coaches, you can come across bad coaches, you're going to come across coaches you like, coaches you don't like.
Absolutely.
And every single one of them, if you get in the environment, you can make yourself better. Maybe something mentally, you make yourself better by dealing with a certain personality. It may be the coach who does a lot of technical things. So in those technical things, you work your buns off to get it. But it's not the coach.
No,
it's the individual.
That's brilliant. No, you're so right with that. And when I say that, like, you molded the girls, like, that's one of the things. Like, I used to watch you out there because I used to go sit at practice because I lived too far to drive home. I was going to Independence. I wasn't going back to Prairieville. But, you were just directing, building them up, getting them to get along, just the simple things. And then you were teaching them technique and all those things too. But, like, it's so weird how it all just, I never would, because Peanut says that to me. She's like, Mom, it was my soccer. It was all my coaches. And she always says that. She gives y'all credit, all of them, to help her be, like, she's getting ready to go work, and it's going to be, a very hard job that she's going to do, and a lot of responsibility. But, like, she's ready to saddle up because she's confident, So thank you, Coach Marvin, for doing that for her, too.
Yes.
So, Dad, did we get any comments from anybody? But any of the...
Well, someone was calling Peanut out, but I'm not going
to... Well, that's okay. We don't have to say anything about that.
That's right. So we thank you so much, Coach Marvin, for being on. People... When they grow up and get older and they remember childhood memories, it's usually a teacher or a coach that they recall as being influential. And as you point out, of course, you simply get them to do the work and love the game. And when they do that, they build their own future out of it. So that's what a coach is there for too, besides the technical stuff. But so we thank you so much for being on the show tonight. It's really, really appreciated, Coach Marvin.
Yeah, and I also want to say thank you for influencing so many of our Baton Rouge girls and guiding them through, especially my daughter, especially because I'm very grateful to you. And you're one of her people that you influenced her. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And thank you for coming. And we had a little mishap. I didn't put the PM. He was here this morning, so I do apologize. And I know I hope your wife isn't too mad.
Before we go, I wanted to put up the website.
Oh, yeah, let's put the website
just
up.
make sure that you go out and look for the Baton Rouge Soccer Club website, and it's got all the necessary information if you're interested in getting involved or helping out or in any way, shape, or form, finding private coaches, all kinds of things out there to find out what Baton Rouge Soccer is all about.
It's great.
Yep.
We loved it.
So, honey, who do we have on next week?
So next week we have Kevin Kimball, and he's going to be talking about he worked, he was manager at Stabs, and they just opened the Sammy's in Prairieville, but how Wayne Stabler gifted all the different restaurants to the managers. Yeah. Did you hear about that? Yeah, so he's going to come on and talk to us about all that.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Pretty interesting, right?
Okay, so all of this will be up on the YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and Apple Podcasts by probably noon tomorrow. So we thank everybody for tuning in, and come and visit us next week. And thank you, and God bless. Good night.
Good night. Bye.